of the year. All around the neighborhood, there's a party around here. Marching bands in costume, penny whistles and guitars. From the morning mass to a toast beneath the stars. When everyone remembers the San Patricios on St. Patrick's Day in Churubusco. For most of the month, it's one big commemoration of solidarity and the Irish nation, remembering the sacrifice made here in this place to renew the bonds across the ocean of the human race. When everyone remembers the San Patricios on St. Patrick's Day in Churubusco. There's Sitar with his bagpipes in front of a flag of green. There's the distillery making sure it's a festive scene, serving whiskey Battalion straighter on the rocks, sure to warm your belly and put a tingle in your socks. When everyone remembers the San Patricios on St. Patrick's Day in Churubusco. There's dancers by the dozen, kicking high up in the air. There's St. Patrick himself, standing over there. There's a Gaelic football team making asses of themselves outside the convent where the San Patricios fell. When everyone remembers the San Patricios on St. Patrick's Day in Churubusco. When everyone remembers the San Patricios on St. Patrick's Day in Churubusco. On St. Patrick's Day in Churubusco. It was 1845 when I left Clifton town. I was just about the only one left standing on the ground. The clothes upon my back and the instrument in my hands were all I had to take with me to that far-off land. When I got off the coffin ship to Manhattan Isle, it wasn't long before I'd find myself marching single file. They said, now you're an American, take this uniform and gun. We'll show you Paddies how the West gets to be won. Prove you're patriotic, join the fight for annexation of most of this neighboring sovereign nation. I thought I can't be part of this, so with John Riley I did go. I was the piper for the San Patricios. There's no mention of me that history records, but I was just behind the front lines, fingering the chords. I could have put the pipes down, but my comrade said, play on. It's what kept them going with so many dead and gone. I played skibbereen, loud and long and slow. I was the piper for the San Patricios. In a flagging moment, I played Rising of the Moon, and then watched the men revived for the battle coming soon. After Churubusco, so many good men dead. When our fort was overrun, I was one of those who fled. I lived out the rest of my days in the land of Mexico, but I was the piper for the San Patricios. At the beginning of the 20th came the First World War. We went to save Europe, that's what we were fighting for. Then a few years later came World War II, when we all set aside our differences, did what we had to do. And we rose to the occasion to stop the spread of Bolshevism, to stop the domino effect of that virus communism. We started up the North Atlantic Treaty Organization so we could protect all those European nations. When the Korean War began, we fought communism there. We sacrificed our youth to keep the world free and fair. We defended liberty on the Gulf of Tonkin. For the sake of civilization, we fought the Viet Minh. To protect those students, we fought in Grenada. To save the shipping lanes, we fought in Panama. To fight the war on terror, we went to Afghanistan. In the epic struggle against the evil Taliban, at least if you believe the propaganda, the world according to MAGA. To stop the evil Axis, we fought Saddam Hussein. Then we led the fight in the next campaign. We fought Islamic State, and we bombed Sana'a, and we sent the military aid so they could bomb Gaza. Everyone takes advantage of our generosity, of our willingness to defend the world that is free. Although our love of justice makes our hearts about to burst, now we have resolved we're gonna put America first. At least if you believe the propaganda, the world according to MAGA. Now we've got a new agenda here in 2025. We'll see how many of the old alliances survive. We're all done being patsies. We're all done being cops. We're done listening to judges who tell presidents to stop. All done with the UN and playing by the rules. All done with foreign aid and being taken for fools. In the past we went around, hands tied behind our backs. Now the plan has changed and we're ready to attack. At least if you believe the propaganda, the world according to MAGA. If you believe the propaganda, the world according to MAGA. At the end of the war they called World War II, the ones that survived decided to do something they tried that had failed before. The League of Nations collapsed, and then came the war. So leaders decided this time must succeed. We must all have a rule book, it must be agreed. Never again, we must move past these times when anyone anywhere committed such crimes. And since the Nakba, there was no doubt. The UN said you can't just kick them out. And when Israel started their genocide, this meant the whole world then had to decide if we're with the ones standing by and flapping their jaws, or if we're on the side of international law. You know the ones whose mentioned name get you disappeared from the light of day. There is no neutral with such a siege on, when they're stuffing them all. You can't wait till they're gone before taking a stand with a gulf this wide. If we're with those seeking to stop genocide, if we're with the ones standing by and flapping their jaws, or if we're on the side of international law. The truth right now is as scary as fiction as we watch Gaza start, and we're told we can't mention our solidarity with those under attack and with those who saw war crimes and had to fight back. That it would be illegal if we even made clear the names of the groups with our gratitude here. To say if we're with the ones standing by and flapping their jaws, or if we're on the side of international law. At the end of the war, they called World War II.
Well, this is a song about solidarity of the kind that I know a lot of people, millions and millions of people, who would love to be able to exhibit right now. There are it's interesting. In Yemen, ever since I wrote that song that I kind of butchered accidentally this evening in terms of the chords, but in Yemen, there's I've been in touch with thousands of people since writing that song, and in the media they talk about how the Ansar Allah, otherwise known as the Houthis, don't represent all that many Yemenis. And I don't know whether that's true or not, but I know that the cause that they stand for and are fighting for is extremely popular in Yemen, as evidenced by the fact that the actual like half the population of the place turns out in the streets. If you've not seen the aerial footage of the protests they have in Yemen, there's actual plain visual evidence of the popularity of the cause, and there are thousands and thousands and thousands of young folks who are pretty much begging for somebody to open up a land corridor to Gaza, which would of course mean going through Egypt, which is very unlikely to happen. But if it happened, it wouldn't be the first time that such actions were taken by people dedicated to fighting against injustice by any means necessary. My name is John Riley. I'll have your ear only a while. I left my dear home in Ireland. It was death, starvation, or exile. When I got to America, it was my duty to go, enter the army and slog across Texas to join in the war against Mexico. And it was there in the pueblos and hillsides that I saw the mistake I had made. Part of a conquering army with the morals of a bayonet blade. And there amidst all these poor dying Catholics, screaming children, the burning stench of it all, myself and 200 Irishmen decided to rise to the call. From Dublin City to San Diego, we witnessed freedom tonight. So we formed the St. Patrick Battalion, and we fought on the Mexican side. We formed the St. Patrick Battalion, and we fought on the Mexican side. We marched neath the green flag of St. Patrick, emblazoned with Erin Gulbra, bright with the harp and the shamrock and the Libertad Republica. Just 50 years after Wolf Tone, 5,000 miles away, the Yanks called us a legion of strangers, and they can talk as they may. But from Dublin City to San Diego, we witnessed freedom tonight. So we formed the St. Patrick Battalion, and we fought on the Mexican side. We formed the St. Patrick Battalion, and we fought on the Mexican side. Fought them in 5 major battles. Churubusco was the last, overwhelmed by the cannons from Boston. We fell after each mortar blast. Most of us died on that hillside in the service of the Mexican state. So far from our occupied homeland, we were heroes and victims of fate. From Dublin City to San Diego, we witnessed freedom denied. So we formed the St. Patrick Battalion, and we fought on the Mexican side. From Dublin City to San Diego, we witnessed freedom denied. So we formed the St. Patrick Battalion, and we fought on the Mexican side. We formed the St. Patrick Battalion, and we fought on the Mexican side.